Hello, my fellow Neopians, and happy Kiko Day. I'm very excited about this. I think there's some fun decks to be looked at, and I'm excited to do this reading for you today. Our Oracle deck that will be joining us is the Faery Godmother Oracle cards. I haven't used this yet in these readings, so that it's making its debut. The decks before us are the Neopets deck, RWS, the landscapes, and then the Mystical Medleys. I recommend you go to whichever one is calling your name. That may be more than one, that may be just one. Go to whatever makes sense for you. We're going to get started. Pile 1, I'll see the rest of you later. Hello, Pile 1, you've chosen the Neopets Tarot. Our Faery Godmother card is the rejection card. You felt rejected. Typically this will end up with you probably joining in a behavior that you're not liking, kind of this a self-soothing but typically destructive behavior. Something that makes you feel better but is usually not really that good for you. So we'll kind of see if we can get some more info upon that. We'll start by pulling 6 cards. And our first card is the 4 of Swords. Going into the 3 of Cups. Going into the King of Wands. The 7 of Cups. The Page of Cups. And her final card is Justice. There needs to be an understanding that what reality is and what you think is going on are two different things, unfortunately. And that might be why you're feeling a little blindsided by what's going on right now. It's hard when you think people are friends and then they end up not being such good friends. And that's really hard. I think there is ways to repair friendships, but also be aware that sometimes cutting off people isn't the worst thing in the world. You need a moment to take care of yourself right now. This is the time, and not in a destructive way, but like actually take the time and figure out what you need to do to help yourself heal. What does that take? And what does that break look like? Don't be afraid to come back to people, though, because sometimes that can happen where you get hurt and then you're like, well, I'm never having friends again, or I need to stick just to the people I already know. And it's not the case here. There are new opportunities coming. There are new people who will help you feel better and happier in your life that are going to come in the future. But the problem is that you need to be aware and ready for them. And if you don't take the time to take care of yourself and build up and figure out what you want out of friendships right now, you're going to end up being in a really bad spot later. And you're not going to be able to take opportunity of that friendship that's coming the way you should, or the best way, and possibly not even have it because you're unprepared. I think it's really important to take care of yourself right now, Pile 1. I know it hurts, but you have so much capabilities to come out of this so much better and so much happier, and I really hope you take that opportunity. Welcome, Pile 2. Our card from the Faery Godmother Oracle deck is Abandonment. Discussing that feeling of people leaving and feeling like, please don't go, I don't want you to, and then they go anyway. That can be really hard to deal with. So we're going to see what the tarot cards have to say on top of this. We're going to pull 6 cards. Our first card is the Queen of Swords. Going into the King of Swords. The Tower. The Two of Pentacles. The High Priestess. And our last card is the Two of Wands. Pile 2, you're not dumb, if I can be so blunt. You're aware of what's happening, and I think you've saw some warning signs. You're just disappointed that this has happened. And you're upset, and it's probably going to lead into a couple more things that are going to crumble and fall apart. And again, you knew this was coming. You were hoping it wouldn't happen. But you're smart enough to realize that this was all going to kind of domino effect and end up being this way, which is a bummer. You're going to have to move on. And I think what you're going to end up realizing is that there is, change happens. There's a balance to it. Things come, things go. You still have the skills and the capabilities to rebuild what was broken. And to be honest, it's probably going to make room for things that you couldn't do before. You have the opportunity now to rebuild something into the way that you would like it to be, into a better stance. I do want you to take care of yourself emotionally here and, let your feelings happen. This is still going to hurt. I'm not saying you're going to just be like, oh, this is no big deal. No, it's going to hurt. And even if you saw it coming, it doesn't mean it doesn't hurt any less. The nice thing, though, I just want to remind you is that on the other side of this is that you have the capability and the power to build it back up in a better way. And it might not be the same way as it was, but you have the knowledge now how to make sure things stand rock solid and don't fall in this way again, and hopefully not fall again. You will find a lot of that power for you and around you that you are capable of doing it. And I think you're actually going to be really happy with the end result. It's kind of that silver lining on the on the horizon, and I don't know if that's necessarily something that you're thinking currently, I should say. I'm sure you feel very alone right now, which is hard, but the good news is that it will get better. Thank you so much, Pile 2, for letting me read for you today, and happy Kiko Day. Hello, Pile 3. You've chosen the Landscapes Tarot. Our Faery Godmother card today is the Romance card. I think the feeling I really get from this is that it's about finding the romantic things in everyday life. What do you love about every day and the mundane? What are you not aware of that happens every day? What are the cool things that you get to see and you don't necessarily appreciate, or you should appreciate more? Those little things. We're going to be looking at the Landscapes Tarot here, and we're going to start with 6 cards. And our first card is the 4 of Swords. Moving into the 6 of Swords. The Emperor. The 2 of Swords. The Fool. And our last card is the 8 of Wands. You have a lot of change happening. Specifically, I think you're moving. That, and you're either changing jobs, you're moving physically from your home to a different home. Maybe you're moving away from what you call home and trying to make a new home. And this is hard. It's hard to embrace the new change. It's hard to want this to come on to you, it's hard to have change happen in your life that feels a little bit resistant, that you may not have wanted. And that's where you have to find that, what is good right now? What is wonderful in my life? What is the good things that are happening? And that can be really hard. I also think that you might feel a little belittled in this situation where you feel like this should have happened a long time ago. Maybe society tells you should have moved a while ago, or maybe you feel like you're behind on things, and that protective barrier is almost overwhelming. Maybe there's people in your life, it could be your guardians, parents, that are like, no, this is fine, it's all good, but you feel almost a little overburdened by them and feel like that they have maybe over sheltered you, or you need to try stuff out on your own without somebody there to be by your side. You need to just kind of go and make mistakes. And this is gonna end up kind of feeling like you're starting at the beginning and everybody's ahead of you. Everybody's got an upper chance on you and is doing what feels like they're ahead of the race and from you, and that can be very frustrating. There are two ways to go about this, is that you can just kind of easily go through the change and stop and rest and kind of stay in your own little bubble, basically. Or you can like go out, explore the new area, check out places, try to look at stuff with a fresh eye, especially if you're going back to an old home, or if you're going back to like your city that you used to live into and you're like, well, I already know everything. No, go be a tourist for a day. Go do the cheesy stuff. Go try out a new restaurant. Go find out what's nearby. That place a block from you, should try it and see what it's like. That kind of a thing is really important in this, and that you really need to be making sure that you are taking care of yourself. Both are decent paths. I just think that you will feel more fulfilled out of trying new things. You can totally go the path of stability and keeping, steady on. This is the same thing I do every time. I just have my routine. I just don't think you're going to feel quite as happy from it. Granted, I understand there is some neurodivergency that needs to be understood. And this is that for some of those who are neurodivergent, the repetitive and routine of things is actually incredibly helpful and very fulfilling, or actually really good for your mental health. So it could be in this case that you're trying to go and do new wild things, but what really does need to happen is that you need to find your routine in this area and figure out what's going to make you become the most, the best at what you can be. And that's with, like knowing that, hey, the gym is open at this time and I'm going to go at this time every day. And I know I like this coffee at that place, and I know I like the sandwich over there, and I can get these things regularly. And I know this grocery store, and I know they have my favorite cheese or whatever. Like stuff like that, where that little routine can be incredibly helpful for you. And then you might be able to find out that this is where you're finding the good things in. And that's a good thing, is to find the joy in everyday things. That's important. Pile 3, I think there's like two different types of groups that are watching this. And so some of you need to find your routine, and others of you need to like break your routine, and you need to figure out who you are in that scenario and go for it. I do wish you the best. I am just realizing there's a couple of lakes, and so Kiko Lake comes to mind. Don't go stealing other people's stuff. But yes, have a wonderful day, Pile 3, and I hope you guys have a wonderful Kiko day. Hello, Pile 4. You've chosen the Mystical Medleys Tarot. Our Faery Godmother card is Abundance. I think of Midas's touch in this, and that you will have overplenty, and sometimes that's not a good thing. You have to be careful what you wish for. So we shall see what the cards have to tell you. We're going to be pulling 6 cards and seeing where they lead us and how abundance may tie into this. We're going to start with the 5 of Cups, the 6 of Cups, the 2 of Swords, moving into Judgment, the Tower, and our final card is the Fool. In this moment, you are dealing with a lot of, I want to say self-pity, but and maybe that's the right word. It's that you're just kind of stuck in the past. You keep thinking of other things and thinking of what could have been and what could be. And I need you to know that you're at a choice. That you either need to realize that right now is important and wonderful and you can still do so many things and you can go on to new beginnings, or it's all going to self-destruct. And that's really hard because you can still self-destruct in a way that like everything falls apart, but you're still like, it's more of a, you don't realize 5 years have passed by and you still haven't done anything. You're still stuck in the past. You're still thinking about what you could have done, 10 years ago. And now it's like, okay, but what did I just do with the last 5 years? And it's that realization that you need to be willing to try new things. And I'm hoping you kind of have your moment of like, wait, hold on, like an aha of, oh, I got this kind of a thing. This is the time to double check yourself. Like, this is the time to like look at yourself and really analyze your thought process on things. You can sit there and be just miserable and upset and downtrodden and be like, oh, woe is me, which isn't necessarily always a bad thing. But I think you've been sitting in this too long that you actually need to be aware that it's over. Like, you need to move forward and figure out what's the next thing. And unfortunately, in order to get there, is that you're going to have to do a big deconstruction of yourself in a way that like makes you feel like you're starting brand new, which is probably why you're scared to take that step. I don't think this is going to be the moment where you realize this. I think it's going to be a bit down the road here. Hopefully in the next few weeks that you're going to realize, wait a minute, hold on. I do need to like really analyze myself. I am stuck, or I am thinking about XYZ thing, this past relationship, this old job I had. What if I had stayed? Why did I leave? Why did we break up? Why did this thing end? Why did that thing end? And instead of being like, hey, I'm going to go and make new friends. Oh, I'm going to join this crochet club. Oh, I'm going to go and do this book club, whatever. Going out and meeting people, taking a community class, all sorts of stuff. There's a lot of opportunities to, keep training yourself in ways that you may not realize. Maybe you start watching some YouTube tutorials and teaching yourself a new skill. Whatever it may be. You start learning a language that you wanted to do and you're so stuck in, well, I should have started learning it 3 years ago. Yeah, but you could start learning it now. 3 years is still going to go by and you're just not going to have picked up a book to start learning the language. It's going to happen. The time will pass. It's about what are you going to do with it to help keep yourself happy. You should still rest. You should still take care of yourself. I want make sure you're going okay and that like your creativity and stuff is being addressed and that you are taking care of your physical self and the physical surroundings. Keep a clean home, keep yourself clean, those various things. But like also know that it helps to have an enriched life and you need to be able to take that action to do so. This is going to take a lot of power from yourself, pile 4, and you have that power, but you just have not realized that power. And I cannot wait for you to realize it. I wish you the best of luck moving forward. Take care of yourself, pile 4.